Hi everybody, it's Audrey. Thank you so much for stopping by today to watch my process video. Today I am doing a video for Clique Kits with the June kit called Aquarelle. And we are trying to use a lot of cut files from the Clique Kits store. And you can go to the Clique Kits store and there is a Clique Cuts section which has all kinds of digital cut files. There are a ton to choose from. I chose some butterflies because I'm going to be working with a picture of my daughter with some butterflies. And these butterflies, what I'm doing here first is I have opened the files that I want to use. Each butterfly was a separate cut file, so that's why you saw me open 3 different files there. And then in the Silhouette software, what I do is I draw a square that is the shape of my photo. So I knew my photo was about 3.5 by 4 3/4. So I just drew a square that big and filled it in with white so you can't see behind it, and outlined it in black so that shows me exactly the size of my photo. Then I position my cut files around my photo where I think I'm going to place them. And that helps me know exactly what size to cut these cut files in. And I know this is going super fast here, but you kind of get the idea. So I basically have just used the Silhouette software to help me gauge the size of my cut file and the placement. So the design is pretty much already set in my head when I start this page. So based on the design you just saw there, I'm going to add some color to my background. I love this piece of pattern paper. This kit this month, by the way, features a lot of the Cocoa Vanilla Wild at Heart collection, which has a lot of butterflies and flowers, and it's very feminine. There are a lot of geometric prints too that can be more masculine as well. But anyway, I'm focusing on the butterflies because the picture is of my daughter holding a butterfly. And like I said, I'm going to add a little bit more color. So I'm using some teal Heidi Swapp Color Shine here. And as I added the teal and I was kind of looking over to my die cuts on the right there, I'm like, this is not the right shade of blue. I want to bring in a little bit more green. So I also bring out the Seafoam Color Shine, and when I add that in, that helps bring in the green color that I was looking for and matches some of the color on those die cuts and cut out paper very well. By the way, I don't know if you saw there earlier, a lot of the butterflies I'm using for this page I have cut out from another piece of pattern paper, so I just fussy cut a lot of them. I also wanted to bring in some of the orangey pinkish color, and I am using the Coral Color Shine, and I probably shouldn't have put it over the green and the blue so much, because when you mix the orange with the green and the blue, it tends to turn a little bit brownish, a little bit muddy. But there are some areas where the orange is it's not overlapping some of the green and blue, and you can definitely see the orange color. So that it came out okay. And then I sprinkled some other mists as well. So I wanted to draw attention to the focal point of my photo. So I thought that using this stencil that has kind of this sunburst pattern would be good. And you see I have positioned the center of the stencil, where the convergence point is, right where the butterfly is in my photo. And I'm going through with this old yellow mist. It's a Shimmers. It's pretty much empty, and so I had a hard time spraying it, and the nozzle was a little bit clogged, so it took me a while to get all this sprayed out. And then I just went through and dabbed a lot of it up, and then I didn't know if it was going to be dark enough, so I did add a few spritzes of the Heidi Swapp Color Shine and Mustard, and I love how that starburst looks. So really pretty, kind of a skewed starburst there. It's not very even, but that's the kind of the look I was going for. So I gave that a little dry with the help of my heat gun, and you see my cut files have finished cutting. They were cutting while I was doing my background here. In my initial plan, I thought I was going to back each of these cut files, each of these butterflies, with some pattern paper, because there are a lot of beautiful prints in this collection that are just perfect for butterfly wings, I think. But I really liked how, once I added these other butterflies that I had fussy cut out, I thought that they brought in a lot of color, and I didn't want to add too much more color because I didn't want it to be overpowering. And I really liked how the white butterflies, you could see the paint through them and the color on the background. I liked that. And I also liked how the white butterflies picked up the butterfly in the photo, because the butterfly in the photo is also white. So I'm really glad I brought in a lot of the white elements. So I kind of just scattered those around. I played a little bit with, dividing up the butterflies by color and making sure there's just a balance of color. And I put a little cluster of embellishments around the bottom of the photo. I was trying the top of the photo, but I just did not like how it overlapped my daughter's head. I have this thing with overlapping things on photos. I do not like to cover up my photo a lot with embellishments. Maybe just a little tiny overlap on parts of the photo, but I really like the photo to stand out. So if I do cover edges of a photo, I typically try to only cover one edge of the photo and leave the others open. So anyway, just a little design thing that I tend to do. So I needed a place for my journaling. I cut out these 2 labels from one of the other pattern papers. There's a piece of paper that comes with like some 3x4 cards and other sayings and labels. And I just clustered them there on the left. And I felt they were kind of floating there, so I needed something to ground them to that side of the page. So I cut out this heart from pattern paper, and that did it. That also helped tie in the color, I think, and really draws your eye into that visual triangle. So after I got that all laid out, I thought, you know what, I really need something to define those yellow lines. So I went through and I did some stitching just over the yellow line areas to highlight the starburst pattern. And it's amazing how just adding that stitching just makes the whole thing look so much more yellow. It's so weird. It just makes it pop out so much more. But so anyway, just a little bit of stitching can really define that shape. I just layered a couple pieces of pattern paper behind my photo, some again from 4x6 cards, others from whole sheets of pattern paper, and then I'm putting that all over a piece of mixed media sheets, interfacing sheets from ThermoWeb, which is kind of like a fabric vellum. You can kind of see through it. And then a piece of craft foam underneath my photo, again, to help pop it up off the page. So now I'm going to go back through and layer everything on top of the photo and on top of the page again. But like I showed you earlier, I had pretty much laid this all out in Silhouette Studio, so I knew the design, and I like doing that because it really helps my process go faster if I can do it on the computer and move it around first before I actually physically have to play with the paper. I mean, I do obviously push some things around here and rearrange based on color or, just whatever other things in the page. And but using the computer software really makes the process go faster. So while I'm arranging this, and after I get it set where I want it, I just go through and start gluing it down. Let me tell you quick about this story. So this was in April, and a nice spring day. It was pretty warm out, and the butterflies are starting to come out. The little white cabbage butterflies are the first ones usually to come out, and my daughter caught one, and she put it in this little like butterfly container she has, and she was holding it, and she goes, she said, "Mommy, look at this butterfly! Isn't it so pretty?" I said, "Yeah, it's great." She goes, "I've been looking at it." She goes, "And I really think it looks like a Richard. I'm going to name it Richard." And I said, "Richard? Where did that come from? Why are you going to name your butterfly Richard?" I said, "I didn't think Richard was, a butterfly kind of name." She goes, "I don't know. It just looks like a Richard." And I said, "Okay." So this is a butterfly named Richard. I just can't imagine where she got that name from. So anyway, pretty funny. Richard has since gone to visit other butterflies because we did let Richard go back to his family, her family. Actually, I think it's a her. Anywho. So last few little bits here. I just am gluing and layering and gluing and being really fussy about my placement because I wanted the heart to show enough, but I wanted to have enough area on the labels to do my journaling, so I'm being really picky about that. Then I added a little label on top that's from my stash. I keep a stash of those labels for dates because I always put the date on there. And then a little flower and a piece of flare over there in that little cluster. And then I'm kind of just puffing up these wings a little bit. Not that they're going to stay like that once I put them in the album, but for now it looks pretty. I like the depth that it adds. And then I am going with these alphas that come in the kit this month. I absolutely love these alphas. They are so pretty. They're kind of a copper color and they're very thin, and I love that they're thin. My only thing about these is that they do not stick well, and so you definitely have to go over them with glue, and especially once you have a background that you've gessoed or added some type of media to the background, it does not stick very well. But they are so, so pretty. There are some other shapes on here that I plan on using too. On the letters there's some stars and kind of asterisk shapes that I'm going to use in a future page. So last little bit here, I just took another one of those mixed media sheets, which is again like a vellum, and I printed on it because it fits right in your printer because it is 8.5 by 11. And I just printed the beginning part of my title. It says I'm going to name him Richard. And I just stuck that on with a piece of with a tape runner. And that is about it for that page. I love the subtle, soft color of this page. I like how the yellow pops out, the little starburst pattern there in the back, and I'm glad I left those butterflies white. I think they came out really pretty. So kind of a simple design, but again, a fun story. So I hope you check out the June Clique Kits kit in the store, and let me know if you have any questions. Stay scrappy, my friends. I'll see you soon.